Miss Brittany, when you think about Bill Williams, what do you think of?
Kind of being the gold standard of journalism. He was the man everyone could look up to in this newsroom, and I just am so grateful that I got the chance to know him. When I came here, there was a brief time where he came back to sort of help with an anchor transition. That was in 2006 when I was here the first time. So I really got to know him then, and he was so kind to this young, inexperienced journalist. I remember he would come in on Sundays when I was working, because I worked weekends back then, to work on Monday's Child, and he'd always stop by and talk to me. It was so encouraging, and I will absolutely never forget that. I think we all know the impact he made here on our community with Mission of Hope, of course, Monday's Child, and with the local journalists who have continued to grow and flourish and thrive. I hope to count myself among them, but I just feel so lucky to have known him personally, and we dearly miss him.
Miss Katie, when I say Bill Williams, what do you think of?
I think of straight from the heart immediately. Bill Williams was the epitome of living every day straight from the heart. But I also think about children, because he started Monday's Child years and years ago, and he was able to make sure that kids in our area had forever homes through his weekly segment, Monday's Child. And I think so much about that too, because my aunt and uncle, they actually had a foster child who ended up being a Monday's Child. They were not the family to adopt him, but he found his forever home through that Monday's Child program, and I still hear stories about that. And then whenever Channel 10 was celebrating 40 years of our Straight from the Heart brand just a few years ago, I actually got to sit down and interview Bill, talking about Monday's Child, and he wore a special Monday's Child tie. And it was obvious to see how much he beamed and how proud he was of that segment. I remember him saying in that interview that it was just a chance that he answered the phone in the newsroom one day, and there was a woman on the other end of the line that had this idea about there are so many foster children or so many children in need of homes in Tennessee. We need to do something about it. And from that one phone call, it spurred just a huge impact on our area. And I think that that's one of the biggest legacy that Bill leaves behind, and something that I always think of whenever I think of him. But I also think of Bill as just being a soundbite machine. Whenever I was interviewing him, it was so hard to put together that story, because everything that he said was just pure gold. He truly was such an icon, and just being in his presence, you knew that you were among greatness. And he was also, I say he was humble, but he also knew how big of a star he was. He loved his family. He loved East Tennessee. He loved what he did truly. And I'll never forget the day that he passed away. It was like a shock. I thought he was immortal, he would never die. But in the years since he's passed, I hope that he's watching down on us and that he's proud of what we continue to do here at Channel 10, because he laid the groundwork for who we are today. I'm so thankful.